When I first started showing homes in 55 plus communities, I was wondering why I was having so much trouble getting clients into homes in some of the busiest times of the year. Now, what I eventually figured out would not only lead to figuring out the best time of year to show homes and have the most homes available for my clients, but it also allowed me to get them the best deal possible while creating a more stress-free experience.
Good job!
So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how some 55 plus buyers can actually have an edge over you, making your home purchase more difficult, and what you need to do so that way you can level the playing field. I'll also provide some insights into the unique aspects of the 55 plus real estate market, showing you how it's different than the conventional home buying process. Finally, I'm going to show you how to incorporate all this knowledge and have it act as your compass on your home treasure hunting expedition, pointing you toward your hidden gem, your dream home. A few years ago, my clients Jerry and Diana, they had planned to finally follow their children and their grandchildren to the great state of Arizona. So we began looking at homes to purchase in their specific 55 plus community of choice, only to find that most of the homes that we were looking at were more stale than that last piece of bread you found in your pantry after going gluten-free. If Jerry and Diana did find a home, it was snatched up faster than those pink Stanley tumblers from Target. There was one home that they liked, but the price was more than they wanted to spend, and it needed a ton of updating. Plus, the home was too big, and Diana was just done cleaning an oversized home. And after months of searching, the market still just wasn't cooperating. Now, Jerry and Diana, they started to ponder a serious question. Would they have to choose another community, which meant they'd have to be further from their children, which meant less time with their grandkids and their pet ferret Carl. And this also meant having to take the expressway with those crazy Arizona drivers in order to see their grandkids every weekend.
Look at this hole.
So they started to become more anxious than even those fellas on Epstein's flight logs. After searching a few months with their swords drawn, ready to strike in the blazing heat of what can only be described as one of the worst Arizona summers on record, we made an offer on the perfect home for them. But the thing they hadn't realized is that they were about to be outgunned. They were facing a formidable foe in that of another offer, and we realized quickly that this offer, it was a cash offer. Jerry and Diana, well, they were financing their purchase. And just as the old adage says, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, you'll find that in most 55 plus communities, if you're not paying cash, meaning you have to finance like us peasants, you statistically have a 40 to 45% chance of being outgunned by a cash buyer. So entering the 55 plus real estate market's kind of like stepping into a high stakes poker game with only a few chips to your name. You can still win, but you need to play your cards right if you're going to beat out that cash offer. Now, a quick side note, this is quite contrary to the under 55 plus communities where you see only 25% of buyers coming in with cash. Now, looking specifically at statistics from 2018 to 2023, you can see this trend with a small exception in 2020 because, hey, when rates are 2.5% to 3%, who doesn't like free money, right? In the chess game of the housing market, cash is the all-powerful queen, moving about effortlessly, decisively, while other forms of payment are like pawns, limited, often outmaneuvered. However, if you are a pawn going up against the queen, you might still have a chance. So if you're financing, you gotta sweeten the deal for the sellers. When trying to take out a queen, here's some great weapons to keep in your saddlebags. Number one, sellers love this option because it gives them money and it provides time to make their next move without leaving their home. It's going to provide the seller with little to no stress, and it can beat out a cash offer if it's done right. This would be to offer a free or reduced leaseback. And number two, while cash is indeed king, or in this case, the queen, more money is usually always a checkmate, even if it's just $5,000 to $10,000. Now, number three, I don't recommend this unless you can take the risk. But many people were doing this in 2020 and 2021 as homes shot up in value very quickly and the appraisals couldn't even keep up with them. That is to waive your appraisal contingency in the contract. So hoping for a strategic victory, and after getting an idea of what would motivate the sellers to actually go with Jerry and Diana's offer, they chose to give the seller a free lease back for 30 extra days. After all, they wouldn't have to make a payment during that time. However, as the game unfolded, they found themselves outmaneuvered. In this chess match, their well-intended pawns fell a little bit short against the queen, and the allure of cash, it was too strong for the sellers to resist. So unfortunately, my clients, Jerry and Diana, they headed back to Washington with no home. But before learning about the best time to buy, and after learning half the market was cash, my buyers and myself soon realized that there was another hard and fast difference between the traditional markets and the 55 plus market. This difference might actually save you a lot of money, heartaches, and of course, stress, and maybe from firing me. Or the other realtor that you're using for this deal. Now, when Jerry and Diana had come down to visit, they came on a whim, and it was right after their grandkids got out of school, because in the traditional market, we see that most sales do happen during this time, in the May and June, sometimes into July season. But like a train departing the station, just as the passengers arrived, Jerry and Diana found themselves rushing to catch up, left behind in the flurry of activity and obviously some unmet expectation, because most sales actually happen during the March and April months, which in turn means that most buyers in 55 plus communities are actually starting their search for homes in February and March. Now you might be asking, hey, that sounds good in theory. Do you have any proof? Well, this chart right here shows the amount of homes that are listed every month in 55 plus communities. We see that January and the first quarter have the most homes listed, and there's a significant drop off in April, May, and June. Now let's compare that to the under 55 plus communities. We can see that there's no significant drop off moving into the summer. So now there you have it. We've discovered that most homes actually get listed in January, and most closings take place in March and April. So obviously this means that the best time to come look at a home would be in January or February. Or is it? Now there is one other time that's not so obvious. Now before I reveal what some people might call the best month to come down and look for homes, let me tell you why this is the best time. First, in this month, there's about as many homes being listed as in January. Second, there's only about 62% of the amount of buyers during these slower months. And third, you can probably get a better deal or some type of concession because there aren't as many closings, and you know what? People want to get their home sold before the holidays. So I may have given it away a little bit, but what I believe to be the best month to come down and purchase would be October. Now my clients, Jerry and Diana, came back in October after they weren't able to find anything in May and June of 2023, and we were able to lock in a home with $15,000 in concessions, and they didn't have to go up against any other offers. And best of all, they were in their home before Christmas, and they were able to celebrate with their kids and grandkids. But during the Christmas celebration, though, they did discover one massive problem with their home. And it wasn't the chimney or the roof. Santa made it in okay. This was something that they hadn't even thought of before making the move. Now check out this video to see what they would have done differently if they had to do it all over again and how you can avoid this same problem.